Hello, please subscribe and like for our channel. Thanks very much.
Hello, welcome to this new tutorial presented by DASSI SchrDbb. So in this tutorial, you're going to see this CT scan and you have these questions. So when you see this CT scan, the first diagnosis that comes into your mind is that is a haematoma. Is it clear? So when you have already a concealed, that's a concealed hematoma. When you have a concealed opacity that's on one location, and that is already a hematoma that's comes into your mind. So now I'm just going to give you a brief review on hematomas, and then you're going to answer the question. So now you need to know that what when you have a trauma, there are different hematomas that can, or hemorrhages at the level of the brain that can occur. Is it clear? The first hemorrhage that you can have is a epidural hematoma. Now, epidural hematoma is going to be presenting on the CT scan as what? As a biconvex shape hematoma. Is it clear? It's going to be a biconvex, or you can just say a convex shape hyperdensity. Is it clear? That's how an epidural hematoma presents on the CT scan. A convex shape hyperdensity. Is it clear? That's for epidural hematoma. Now, the next thing is when you have subdural hematoma. Subdural hematoma is divided into three. We have the first one, we have an acute subdural hematoma that's going to present with what? It's going to be presenting with a crescent. All the subdural hematoma present with crescent or lunar shape. Is it clear? It's going to present with a crescent shape. Acute subdural hematoma is going to be a crescent shape hyperdensity. Are you getting? Subacute subdural hematoma is going to present with a crescent shape isodensity. When it's isodense, means that it is the color of the hematoma is not capable of being easily distinguished from that of the brain. Is it clear? That's a crescent shape isodensity. And for chronic subdural hematoma, it's a crescent shape hypodensity, means that it's going to be darker as compared to the tissue of the brain. So now in this question, they say what abnormality is shown. So in this case, you have what? So it is a biconvex or a convex shaped hyperdensity located where? At the frontoparietal aspect. Is it clear? So it is located at the frontoparietal aspect of the head. Is it clear? Located at the frontoparietal aspect of the head. Now, in this case, the question is, how do you know that it is frontoparietal aspect? How do you know that it is temporal aspect? So generally, you have to know that what if it's for it to be in a frontoparietal aspect, you have to just look for the ventricles. When you clearly see two ventricles, inside the brain, it means that you are already at the temporal aspect. Else, when you don't see the ventricles clearly, like in this case, you can just see one dark structure there. Is it clear? One dark structure there. That's a ventricle. That's the left ventricle. But if the left ventricle is not clearly seen, when you don't see clearly the ventricle, it means that you are still up at the level of the CT scan. So it's frontal parietal aspect. Frontal because it's moving from in front and then going behind to the parietal aspect of the head. Is it clear? So you see that your abnormality here is a crescent shaped hyperdensity located in the frontal parietal aspect of the head. That's the abnormality. Now the next question, what is the likely diagnosis? So since it is biconvex or convex, so a convex shape, biconvex or convex shape. So since biconvex, your diagnosis here is epidural hematoma. The next question is list three symptoms and signs of this patient that presents. So for you to know list the symptoms and signs, I'm just going to say that the patient is going to have headache or is going to have signs of raised intracranial pressure. Is it clear? So the symptoms and signs is that one. The patient is going to have headache. The patient is going to have particularly the specific sign of epidural hematoma is the lucent interval, meaning that what in that period the patient is having the lucent interval refers to the period of consciousness within the loss of consciousness. Is it clear? It's a period of consciousness within loss of consciousness, or the period of awakefulness within the loss of consciousness. That is the lucent interval. That is a particular symptom that the patient is going to have. So now they say list 3 symptoms or signs. So you are going to have a lucent interval in this patient. Is it clear? You can have loss of consciousness. Is it clear? You have lucent interval. That's a sign. You have loss of consciousness. You have other signs like dizzy, vertigo, and all that. Is it clear? So the specific symptoms, I'm going to say the symptoms of raised intracranial pressure. And the symptoms of raised intracranial pressure are headache, you have projectile vomiting, you have that's headache is a throbbing headache, projectile vomiting, you have blood vision, you have the next one is papilloedema. Is it clear? So now that question number 3 is actually the same like question number 4. So that's why I want you better to say the specific symptoms of epidural hematoma. The specific symptom of epidural hematoma that you're going to have in question number 3 are going to be 1, you're going to have loss of consciousness, you're going to have lucent interval. Is it clear? You're going to have loss of consciousness, lucent interval, you're going to have even coma. Is it clear? So those are the symptoms that you can say them. Now, for the symptoms, for the least effusion of raised intracranial pressure, I'm going to divide. I like dividing signs of raised intracranial pressure into 3. You have mild raised intracranial pressure, you have moderate raised intracranial pressure, and you have severely raised intracranial pressure. Under mildly raised intracranial pressure, you just have headache, blood vision, loss of blood vision, confusion, and then you have projectile vomiting under mildly raised intracranial pressure. Now, under moderately raised intracranial pressure, we have signs of laterality, meaning that what? Meaning that you can have already loss of vision on one side, you have cranial paralysis on one side, you have hemiplegia on one side or hemianesthesia. So all those are signs of laterality, and those signs of laterality are occurring as a result of herniations. And then the last one is signs of severely raised intracranial pressure. Is it clear? Now, the signs of severely raised intracranial pressure, you're going to have papilloedema. Is it clear that you're going to visualize? You are going to have the signs of tonsillar herniation. And what are the signs of tonsillar herniation? We have the Cushing triad. The Cushing triad is made up of bradycardia, is made up of irregular respiration, and is made up of hypertension. That's Cushing triad. You also have the coma. You have a patient in coma. You have a patient also in cerebral positioning, and all that. So those are the different things in the tonsillar herniation, and even the loss of reflexes. Is it clear? So those are the different things that you have when you have signs of raised intracranial pressure. That's how I like dividing my signs of raised intracranial pressure. So from here we say thanks for your kind attention, and let's go to the next tutorial.
Hello, purchase your book, medical book, health science book, physics book, computer science book, all from us on 652-659429, and please don't forget to like and subscribe for our 2 channels, Science Video Makers and SchrDbb. Let me say the number again: 65699429. That is a place where you're going to have all these books. As you can see, we have the computer science book, which is shown in this image. You can see this is all the example of the computer science book, all inside. You have all this. We have the medical book for the first year, second year, third year, all available with all the explanation and questions. We have the physical examination book with all the step-by-step physical examination. This is the workbook for medical third year. The workbook for medical third year. This is the first year workbook. This is the second year workbook. As you can see, this is the second year textbook. All this we have on the no contact 652-659429. Thanks very much.